Today, gentlemen, I've been honored to coach you. More honored to take you into the field of battle. But there's another honor that's been bestowed upon you. And that is the mantle that comes with that question. Who am I? I am a champion! That's right.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This video will be part 2 in how to beat cover 0 in Madden. Obviously in the first video we went over just a couple of things, but first and foremost, you want to pre-snap read it so you can know that it's coming. Obviously you have to be prepared so you know where to go with the ball. And then secondly, as I have here, I mean, this may sound a little bit more complicated than what it is. Based on protection, is there a free rusher? So basically what that means is, if you're sending 5 out into routes, that means you're only blocking 5, and if they're playing cover 0, that means someone's coming scot-free. Because remember, they're bringing 6, you're only blocking 5, so that means someone comes unblocked. But if you block 6 on 6, right, then you can potentially get hands on everyone, and then you may be able to, you know, make your read. You'll have a little bit more time, right? Now, what I mean by this though is, does your opponent green dog it, right? So if you block 6 to pick up the 6, whoever's defending that running back or tight end that you keep in the block, do they take that player and rush him as well, right? So in that scenario, there's still a free rusher, right? But that may be a little bit too complicated. At the end of the day, when it's cover 0, generally you just want to get rid of the ball pretty quickly. So obviously there's different types of cover 0 that we need to kind of go over. Obviously the first one was more so about off man, so they can play cover 0 and then they don't press or nothing, they're just playing man behind it. So I mean, we went over stuff. Obviously you got to get rid of the ball before the free rusher gets there. And then there's plenty of routes you could throw, as I noted in the video. I mean, you got slants, curls. You can go through any random play in your playbook and you just find, routes that are running away from man, right? And those are the ones you want to go to. And obviously it's got to be routes in which the ball can be out of your hands and on the way before the free rusher gets there. But I mean, as we saw in the video, we were throwing curl patterns easily without the free rusher getting there, right? Now, obviously you can't throw like 20-yard digs, because the free rusher will get there, right? So let me go ahead and play it so we can get to the point of this video. So this is my opponent. I think, yeah, first play of the game. I come out and again, pre-snap read. That's why it's just so important to read pre-snap. If you have no idea pre-snap, I mean, you could run into guys who just don't know that it's coming, right? And how can you be prepared when that happens? But 4220 31. If you don't know what this means, maybe I'll leave a link for you to go check out my pre-snap read video so you can know what this means. So if my opponent is telling the truth, it's not cover 3 or cover 1 because it's, no single high. So it's over here. It's not cover 4, it's not 2 zone, and it's not 2 man. So I mean, right away we know it's cover 0. Cover 0 really belongs under the no high safety family, but I group it this way because it's easier to kind of see in your head, okay? So right away, I know it's cover 0. I have 5 releasing out into routes. So what does that mean? That means they're bringing 6, so someone's going to come scot-free, okay? Now, based upon knowing that, do I have somewhere to go before he gets to me? Well, my plan was to throw this curl pattern to my best receiver over here, okay? Snap the ball, there's our free rusher. Let me go back. Yeah, so my identification is here, so free rusher comes, ball's out before he can get to us, throw in the curl pattern. And that's one of the beauties of, I get this a lot, where the guy just misses the tackle or he clicks on and I go for 6. So this was, I think this was the same game, second quarter. Okay, so again, pre-snap read 422031, blah blah blah. This is cover 0. Okay, word to the wise, this guy got on me at the end of the game. He got on the mic. He was pissed off. And he goes, I think this was the guy. Maybe it wasn't. But he goes, you know, you're cheesy, or you're cheesy throwing a chase and blah, blah, blah. There's nothing like this. Just whatever. Let me just keep going. There's nothing cheesy about getting rid of the ball before the free rusher gets there. That's like what you're supposed to do. So I check out into an empty set. So that's kind of weird, right? Like, some people may think that that's kind of weird that you're going against a heavy pressure set and you go switch into an empty backfield. Maybe I'll make a video on that. It's easier when you spread out the defense with some plays, so you know who's potentially coming and who's not. So it's easier for me to ID the free rusher. Now again, you don't have to do this. You can still torch cover 0 without knowing this stuff. I'm just like really detailed, you know, so don't worry about that. Snap the ball, and again, going for 6. So first 2 videos were just, I mean, the first 2 clips was just to showcase, you know, what was stated in the first video, right, about beating cover 0. That was part 1. Now part 2, what happens when they get sick of that, but they're stubborn and they still want to play in cover 0, right? This is a different opponent. And you see right here, now they press. So how does this change things? Well, let's go check this out on the practice field. Ravens, cover 0, and let's see, let's throw the slant. So I got 5 going out into routes. Someone's going to come scot-free at the quarterback. Snap the ball. Free rusher's coming. Throw the slant. So at least the ball, we can still release the ball before the free rusher get there. But let's see what happened. This guy got mauled at the LOS, as we see. So that's not good. So then I tried the other side, and we were definitely successful on that side. And as we see, he doesn't get mauled at the LOS, right? He actually gets inside. So as you can see, you can still throw like the slant. It'll be a lot harder to throw the curl against a free rusher, cover 0, when they're pressing like that. But we're taking baby steps so you can see what needs to be done. So yeah, you still can get the slant. And here I show it again from this angle, and you can see this guy's coming scot-free. And the ball's gone before he can get to us. Okay, so what's the difference though? If this is good to know. So we got number 13 against number 24. 13 did a way better job. And number 11 versus number 18, okay? So obviously Bears versus Ravens. We had Mooney versus Humphrey, and this is the guy who got jammed up and destroyed at the LOS. And then Pringle did a better job actually. He got inside against Peters. So I went and I checked out the ratings so we can see, you know, how they code things and what dictates, you know, releases at the LOS. And this was very strange. When I looked through all this, you see the overall of Mooney, 79. Overall Pringle, about the same. Short route run, 83. His was 79, about the same. Release, that's how you get off the LOS. That was about the same. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to see big differences over here for Humphrey and Peters, right? So then their overall was pretty close, and their man coverage was pretty close. So I was like, well, what is dictating that guy getting mauled at the LOS? And it's not, you can't just play it one time. You know, you got to do it like 10 or 15 times, you know, because that could be just the one time where he got the best of them. But, you know, I guarantee you, you go back on the practice field and you do these two, he's just going to get destroyed almost every single time. So I found what it was, and it was the press rating for the corner. That was the biggest difference. Humphrey had 92, Peters had 82. So that was very interesting for me to know that. So then I went to the ratings for all receivers in the game. And I went to their releases. Okay, so best release at the LOS in the game is Devontae Adams. 2 is Hopkins. 3 is Evans from Tampa Bay. McLaurin, Jefferson, on and on and on. Mike Thomas, whatever. Okay. So I'm like, all right, well, let me go back to the practice field and we'll put Devontae out there against the same opponent, Humphreys, at the LOS, and we'll see if we get a big difference. And we should, because he has a 99. I mean, it's like, top 5 receiver in the game. I'm talking real life, not just Madden. So I go into the game and we try it out. I'm like, all right, I'm definitely get a different release, and absolutely not. He gets destroyed at the LOS. Let's go ahead and watch it. Almost the same animation, and he just gets destroyed. So I do it again, right? So that's 0 for 1 interception, 0 for 2, 1 interception, 1 for 3, and that was tight. Okay, so basically I did it, I think 10 or 11 times. I did it again, and he still gets mauled, right? But that was, I mean, he got the catch. That could have been a touchdown. So that was very close, right? So I'm not going to go through all of them. So in the end, he caught it 3 out of 10 times, and there was 3 interceptions. So that's not good at all, okay? So it seems like that press rating kind of dominates whether or not someone's going to get dominate at the LOS. It doesn't matter what the wide receivers' ratings are. So that's good to know, okay? So if you're playing so then after seeing all that, I went and I checked to see, well, what if it's just something going on with Devontae? It's a foolish reasoning. So I checked the second best receiver at getting off the line in the game, and he was getting mauled like every play the same way. Pretty much the same results as we see there. Okay. So I went and checked the defensive backs, and I went to their press ratings, because this is good to know. Okay. So if you have one of these players and you can just jam people at the LOS, and if they don't know what to do, it's going to be like a really long day. Okay. So obviously the best press in the game, Jalen Ramsey. 2, Lattimore. 3, White from Buffalo. Howard, and there's Humphrey, number 5, and we see he's a 92. So hopefully 92 is the threshold to dominate anyone in the game at the line. Okay, and word to the wise, I like to do this where when I'm going over a certain rating, I check and see if there's 2 or more players in the top 8 on the same team, and Miami has 2 corners at 92 or better at the press rating. So I can only imagine if you play with the Dolphins, you should probably jam a lot at the line of scrimmage with both of those guys, and that could be a real big problem in the passing game for your opponent. So enough of that. So what do we do, right? I mean, it seems like I'm not giving answers. I just kind of like to give the whys, right, and why you may have problems at the line of scrimmage. Obviously you're not playing the Ravens every game, right? But you will eventually run into top-tier talent at corner when you're playing the game. So we got to have answers. So here's an answer, excuse me, an answer right here. Right there. So I've said this before where if you don't have talent at that position and you're dealing with better talent at defensive back and they're pressing, if they can't create space, then you have to manufacture ways for them to create space, and you can do that with formations. So let's check the NFL All 22 cam. And here we see the Bengals. They're trying to score week 1 against the Steelers, and we see the stack little set right here. And these are sets you can run in Madden to where it's really hard. Well, they actually can't in the game. It's damn near impossible to press this guy at the LOS. So that's what you really want. You want this guy to get a free release at the LOS. And you do that with certain formations. So go through your playbooks, find the formations where you have a stack set, run some plays in practice field against press man, and you will notice that this receiver here will not get pressed. Okay, so we'll just play out what the Bengals did here. Beautiful. So it looks like he just came inside. Blah, 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 right? No press. Nice. So here I am in game, and obviously I play with the Bengals online. And I ran across an opponent with the Ravens, and this was before I went to the practice field to showcase that on video, so I didn't really know how good of a press corner that this guy was. But I did know in this game, because this guy was press, and he was bringing pressure at the same time, and I was getting, well, not irritated, but I was wondering what was going on. My guy just could not get off the line of scrimmage. It was pretty annoying, right? So then I'm like, you know what, I'm going to have to go to a stack set. And I remember I watched that video that I just showcased to you before I played this game, and I'm like, hey, I could run the same set pretty much at the same spot of the field, and I'm going to have my guy running out. Matter of fact, this is almost like the same play, right? I hot routed this guy to a slant, so he doesn't come up, but whatever, right? So watch how he just doesn't press him at the line, and my guy at the point right there, you see that? So your opponent can press the point man. But when they do that, when they do press the point man, they will get the press, but the other defender that's defending the guy behind in the stack can get caught in the muck when they do that. So that's the beauty of these stack sets. Your opponent online, or the person that you're playing, they can still try to press it if they want. But again, when they do that, now that the cornerbacks are at the same level, and they could just run into each other, especially when our routes intercept or cross. Okay, so as we see, he's wide open with this action here because he just wants to press every play. But I had a breakdown in protection. I think my back screwed everything up because I ID'd the mic the wrong way. So that's why don't be an idiot like me and move the mic around if you don't know what exactly is going to happen. I knew, but I just made the wrong call on that. So word to the wise, this is a check release, so that C you see pre-snap indicates the player that he's going to check to see if he comes. If he comes, he'll block him, and then you're able to know who the offensive line is responsible for with the mic. So obviously I'll make a video on that, but after this game I went back to watch the replay because I was wondering what was going on, and I found out that my back is horrible at blocking, so that was a problem. So anyway, back to the video. So you'll see there's no way he should be able to jam him at the line, and I think I threw the slant instead. You see, no jam, and then I throw the slant and get a touch. So back to originally, remember this was like the first clip I showed you, and then I asked a question, and then I went on to the rest of the video. So I motioned this guy in, and now I have my stack, and my opponent still wants to press no matter what. He doesn't allow, because when you are in the press animation, so we come out and we're all wide, we're not in the stack formation, and then you press. If I motion into a stack, then they will automatically get out of a press against this stack. But our opponent can still manually press them again with the adjustment, because I want to press no matter what, okay? And when they do that, now they're on the LOS, but they can get mugged and caught in the muck at the line of scrimmage, and that's what you will see here. So this guy was doing heavy cover 0 with the press. So I go to a stack set. I know my playbook. In this play, you may not see it. Actually, they don't have it designed the way that actually happens, but he comes out and my player kind of overlaps and then goes in. Okay, and you see how he got caught there? Right? No press. You're on the line. So now you're running into all this traffic, because that's the whole point of playing at different levels against like stack formations, bunch, etc. But if you want to force your way and get them all at the line anyways, you run the risk of getting people caught in the muck, and he's not going to be able to jam anyways. So he gets caught out, and we get a big play. So remember what I said, if you want someone to get out of the blitz, there it is right there. I don't know if that's going to turn like meta or something, because I've been seeing this a lot lately. I don't even know what formation this is, because they got something called like cover one rat or something out of this formation that looks pretty cool. So I wonder what formation that is. I can easily look it up, but I'm not going to right now. So back to the practice field. Well, what if you don't have Jamar Chase? What if you don't have, you know, a top tier receiver? You want to play with your Bears, and I respect that when guys play with their bad teams, because that's their team. I'm going to play with my team, right? So it doesn't matter, right? There's still formations where you just can't press, even with the bad receiver. So remember earlier in this clip, we had our guy getting destroyed at the LOS over here. Well, now he's over here, and Humphrey's still on him, okay? But now we're in a bunch set, but it's still the same idea. And I press with the other controller, and watch how he still does not get hands on this player. He's going to run inside, and not only that, he gets wide open. So let me snap the ball. Look at that. No press, right inside. I didn't change the play. That's the play as is, and he's wide open. I just didn't throw it because I just wanted to showcase it to you. Okay, so the ball can come out against cover zero with that. This is the play. It's in the Chicago playbook. Let me go back. So look at, I mean, there's a point for all this. You see how he's going under, you know, you got, I mean, if you press with all this, those guys can just get caught running into each other, right? So I should do it here, yeah. Also, when you don't press, I noticed that he runs his route at a deeper depth. So when they do press, then he cuts it off and he just gets right inside, which is very interesting. And as we see, Mooney, who just was getting treated like a child at the LOS against this guy, is now getting wide open against the same press adjustment and going for touchdowns. Ball's out before the free rusher can get there. Okay, ball's out. So that's how you, so I showed you off man, you know, one of the many ways to beat it. And then I just showed you press man. So go in your playbooks, look for, you know, stack receiver sets, bunch sets. You can also find plays where they motion before the snap and at the snap, like maybe like a drive concept. You can press on the other side as much as you want, but when he motions and then at the snap of the ball goes for that drive, you just can't jam him, so he gets a free release. Okay, find those formations in your playbook, find the stack sets in your playbook, your bunches, and then go through the plays and find the ones where you get, you know, guys running off at the line of scrimmage and defenders bumping into one another when they force the jam adjustment. And you'll be throwing against cover zero in no time with no problems against any defense, whether it be the Ravens or even Jalen Ramsey. If you can't get hands on them, you can't get hands on them, and we get a free release. So I'll leave it at that. That was part 2 on how to beat cover zero. Again, we did off man and press man. So I guess next we'll do some press bail stuff, or maybe some more off man stuff, because there is the biggest weakness of cover zero, guys, for the big plays is the deep middle of the field. And you notice we haven't went over how to attack that. We've been just going over getting the ball out of your hands on curls, slants, runaway man routes, bunch, stacks. But I mean, I just named a whole bunch of stuff, right? So, you know, you should have fun against cover zero. So I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you stick around, man. Peace.